the gift that you have is really, first of all, you're a great listener.
Thank you.
Which you have to kind of have. Some people just want to talk and give information and coaching, but coaching is all about listening and finding out what best suits that person, what best suits that situation, and what best suits different methods of how to handle that situation and what the best process for it is. And I find that you're really good at that. So that's what we do here on the show, but sometimes just listening, it's a passive thing, and sometimes you have to actually do the work and get involved. So that's why Dr. Paula is here, to do her show, to help you uplift your life. As we do this show, we are helping to uplift our life, but she's a great resource in terms of a one-on-one communication, because you can do that face-to-face, but I think most of what you do probably is over the phone. I don't know how much of it is emailing, but give out your email again so people can get hold of you in case they're searching for that kind of coaching, counseling, advisor type of situation in their lives.
Yes, it's Paula at paulajoyce.com. And the difference between some people, you mentioned counseling, and I just wanted to make clear that there's a difference between psychological counseling
yes.
and coaching. So I don't do psychological counseling because I'm not a psychologist. So I don't really look at the roots of psychological mindset and so on. What we do is we look at the present and how to release the past and how to move forward into the future from a new platform. So it's working a lot with thoughts and becoming and getting in touch with your own inner wisdom, your own voice, so that you can find your own answers. And often in the very talking about it, you do speak your answers and sometimes don't even hear them, but I can hear them and repeat them back. And sometimes we also use a process that I've developed that allows you to work with your own inner wisdom in a way that allows it to emerge, that quiets the left brain in a way that lets you get into your unconscious and subconscious and what you really know to be true.
Yeah. And the other thing that's great, or one of the many things that's great about Dr. Paula, and I just want you to know, I say this not just because she's on the show, seriously, because, compliments are really beautiful gifts that are great to give out, but if you give out too many, it's kind of, it kind of messes with the quality of what you're saying. But what I like about working with her is that she's an artist. She's a very creative person, and so am I. Dr. Paula is someone that does art herself. You guys don't know that. I don't know we're going to talk about that today, but in future shows we will. She's an artist in many different ways. So she also understands the creative process, and the process that she uses is like that. And it's funny because I've worked with her a little bit, and I didn't know what this process was, and I don't know that we're necessarily going to explain it all today, but it was very, very fulfilling to me and really helped me get things out of me from what I was feeling and into the other side of my brain, and I really enjoyed it. It was like being back. I took art classes as a kid in elementary school, and it was kind of like that, except having a really cool mentor instead of my art teacher that stood in the corner and smoked cigarettes. Because I'm old enough where, like, when you were in class, they could smoke cigarettes and blow it out the window and no one knew. But that's probably why I smoked. I don't know. No, I don't want to be a victim of my art teacher, but it's a great process, and you handle me and what I'm doing on a business level. We talked about personal things, but when you deal with some of these subconscious things that come up, especially for people who are creative, and I think business is a creative art, everything is, it affects your life in so many different ways. It's affected me in a way that I can deal with a lot of different levels of my life because I'm releasing or learning how to release something that's come up for me that had I not talked to you, can you talk about that in terms of business people and artists and all the different people that come to you and how it helps people?
Yes, the process I use, I love that you said it felt like when you were a kid in class again. But even before that, it can feel like you're, even before people were making judgments about this is good art or that's bad art. The process that I use involves crayons. And what I want to do is, with the crayons, is to get people to remember what it felt like to be childlike.
Yes.
And to not have to worry about product, but just be engaged in the process and in the fun of it and the joy of it. And that's what gets you out of the left brain and into the right brain, the creative, unconscious, spiritual side of our mind. And that's the part that's hard to get to. Some people call it the still small voice. So and those words are really profound because it's so quiet that it's hard to hear. And and so the process of crayoning allows us to hear it. It gives that still small voice a louder voice. And then from the crayons we go to writing, and then the person brings it, whatever came up through the crayons, into their conscious awareness. And then we talk about it. And as you pointed out, sometimes it's over the phone. I have clients all over the country. And then sometimes people like to be physically present, and so I also see people in my office. It can work either way. But the point is that you're able to integrate your whole mind. The left brain and the right brain can communicate and give you information that you know but don't know you know. It gives you a way to access that information. And as one of my clients said, the only answers that really allow for change are your own answers. And this process gives you your own answers.